The economy is strong, the jobs market is healthy, and consumers have never been better. Well, it depends. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. If you look at one news, you look at the other, you get a different picture. You get a different story. I am here to show you the raw data of what's happening. This connects in with a video I did recently showing there is a 9 million transparency, 9 million job transparency in between one set of data and the other. And so we have to look at that in depth and understand what's going on with the consumer, because that insight, sometimes anecdotal evidence, give us more information than what we're going to get from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and all these other groups. I need to make something very clear. When we look at employment or unemployment, that is a very broad term. And this BLS or whoever it might be, they're going to give you one statistic and they're going to measure that month to month. And that's supposedly a good indication of that particular, factor with jobs, employment, whatever. You can't do that. You can't take millions upon millions of people and shrink them down to a single digit percentage. It's just not a good thing. But of course, they do so. They do it and manipulate it, just like owner's equivalent rent. When they're coming up with the inflation data, they use something called owner's equivalent rent. It's garbage. It's total garbage. You can have rents increasing, but owner's equivalent rent could be down. I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. So look at this. I'm going to show you some information first. The consumer spends on what they want. There's no question about it. Lot to lose. Desperate, Zep-bound customers drive 5 hours for $1,000 weight loss drug as the U.S. is hit by shortages and placed on back order. So if people want to lose weight by taking a needle in their body, well, they're clearly doing that, spending $1,000. Meanwhile, people are struggling. There's no question that people are struggling. I have polled people on my YouTube channel. I've talked about this on X. I have contacted so many people. Like, you would not believe. I ask everybody about this. I talk about the price of things. And this is coming from people all over the world, in fact. And they all talk about the price of stuff more now than ever before. We've never seen anything like this. So keep this in mind. Yeah, they're spending, but it's not like it once was. Millions of seniors behind on their student loans, risk losing Social Security. This is something that they are very clearly relying heavily on. And the thought that they're going to lose that is a big problem. You see, student loans, we have a large, yes, there's the $1.7 trillion worth in total, but the average payment is actually quite significant. I believe the number is somewhere around 400. That is a big payment for people, and they can't just walk away from that. This is the issue. And people, they're seniors, and they are carrying student debt. This is a problem that is going to continue to burden them. But as it says here, people are not inflation idiots. I like that title. Okay? And basically just saying, what people are dealing with today, and they realize what's going on. They realize it. Okay? They think it's getting worse. It's going in the wrong direction. Of course, generally polls will say that. And they're saying here, it's not true. I'm not stating its opinion. It's something on which reasonable people can disagree. Hard economic data counts for anything we can say. Inflation has moved in the right direction in the past year. That's right. And as he says, and as we've talked about, I know you know this, basically, hey, inflation is moving down, but it's not actually, like, stuff is still moving up in price. It's just moving up slower than what it did before. And they make the example within this article is like, if you're gaining weight, you gained less weight this month than you did the prior month. That's like a healthy trend or something. No, that's not what it is. And so you could see inflation is going ridiculous. And we are not going to sit here and simply just take it at face value. No, we're going to look at the depths of it all. Gen Z embraces side hustles because loyalty is dead. They they're basically saying, look, I see the writing on the wall. I know there's nothing left for me. There's not going to be any social security. Look, it's already a problem. The whole thing's a mess. And so I think could be, a point in time in which everything snaps because you got this Ponzi going on, and we're all paying into this Ponzi, hoping that they could kick the can down the road. But at some point, something's got to give. What do you think? Will something eventually snap? Or can they indefinitely kick the can down the road? I will say that we can always inflate away. There is a moment in time where people with their inflated dollars can no longer afford things, and then we start to get the riots, the civil unrest, and the unruly behavior when society begins to break down. Resentful, financial stressed workers are dreaming of quitting their jobs. Canadian employees say that they're more unhappy at work this year than last. Of course, this keeps going on and on and on. It's not just US. Don't worry, you're not alone, my friends. It's Canada, it's the UK, it's Australia, New Zealand, and so on and so forth. Costs will rise. This is another reason. These Chinese companies could have continued to make goods in China for America at reasonable prices, but now they have to bear the extra costs of migrating to Mexico, and US consumers are grappling with more expensive goods. This is funny because people say, you know what, we're going to do this friend shoring, near shoring, and what's going to happen? We're going to move those jobs to Mexico because we want to do away with China. And China's like, you know what, I got a great idea. Let's spend millions and millions and millions of dollars and let's build our factories inside of Mexico so that we can ship our products into the United States. How about that? What about the fact that made in Italy, in the northern part of Italy, where there's a lot of factories, there's a bunch of factories there that they've manufactured their Chinese factories, Chinese business owners, Chinese workers. Those people are manufacturing their made in Italy goods exactly as if it was in China. There is no difference. Yeah, the soil they're on, maybe, but nothing else. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. And this whole thing is a charade. It's a charade. More Americans are treating their 401ks like cash machines. I've talked about this before. I wanted to include it because this shows the level of stress that the consumer has. The employees are cashing out on that. Some of them, I think the percentage right now, they're just showing as it relates to the hardship withdrawals. And it's something that people are pulling out. It's not a huge sum of money, but it's important. And where does this lead us? This is just one example. Bionic Bar, Royal Caribbean cruise ship, robot bartenders. Did you know that some Royal Caribbean cruise ships have drinks served by a robot? Yes, that's right. Here we have it. I think it's incredible to see it, but this is what's going to happen. All of these jobs are slowly but surely being replaced by robots. And then this is just something interesting. You might be interested. I love to compare the different asset classes. And those, like when you compare the haves and the have-nots, well, you can see that some are doing very well. Rare whiskey on the top of the list, which is interesting. That was a surprise. But this is in relation to the S&P 500. This is over 10 years as well. Okay, so S&P 500 has obviously over the last 10 years, because of all the money printing, has done extremely well. But it's important that we look around and just see what has been going on here is the devaluation of the currency. People are feeling it today. And so we need to be aware of this. We need to do everything we can. I've talked about this before. One tip that comes to mind, buy at your, and buy in bulk, basically. Go talk to your produce manager. Go talk to the people that, where you buy your stuff and ask to speak to if it's produce, ask to speak to the produce manager. You just say, hey, look, I'm looking to buy this. Can you sell me a case instead? What is the price? You go to your neighbors, you go to your family, friends, split it. You could do the same thing at your produce terminal. Your produce terminal is a place where the stuff is all coming in, and then your small grocery stores, your landscapers, they pick up their stuff there. The produce terminal, usually it's around the port or it's like near the airports and stuff. Depends on where it is in your city. So keep that in mind, okay? These are places where you can, again, buy in bulk, you split with your family and friends, do that. You can go to your farmers. You could do these things that save money, save money. Yeah, you can shop around, there's no question about that, but you got to be buying in bulk and you got to be going to the right places. Like something like a produce terminal, you're going to get a way better deal than you're going to get at, your discount shop or whatever. Make smart decisions. Now is not the time to be burning money. You got to conserve. I personally, even though I didn't have to, I conserved. I got rid of everything I could. I went through all my expenses, got rid of my expenses, and as much as I could. And then I went, after tightening my belt, I tried to do as much as I can to increase the top line. You got to do this right now more than ever before. If you want more information in that, I do talk about this. You can read my books, of course. I got my playlist on YouTube, but specifically on the Sunday Business Live. Sunday Business Live is where we are starting our businesses. People in this group, they're getting their businesses going. I want you to be one of those people. Click the link at the top of that description to find out more about it. You can contact me if you want to know more about it. Any information, let me know. And that's it. I hope you'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care.